Hi, fellow harp players. Welcome to the Celtic Tune of the Month 2019, January's first tune. But before we get started, I want to tell you about some options that you may not be aware of. But before I do that, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell, and that way you will be notified whenever the new tunes come out every month. So, things you may not be aware of is the Patreon. I have a Patreon account, and my Patreon people get sheet music for arrangements for the tune. They get beginner and intermediate arrangements. You will also get MP3 recordings, 3 of them. One with just the melody, one with the beginning arrangement, and one with the intermediate arrangement. And you also get information about the tune, and if there's anything special, like one month I did a strathspey, so I explained how to play a strathspey. Another month there was what we call a treble in the ornament, and I explained in a video how to play a treble. So my Patreon people get those extras that the YouTube people don't get. So if you want to get all those extras, check out my Patreon account, patreon.com/AdaMcDonald, and go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube video. The last thing I want to tell you is that if you'd like to get more than one tune a month for my Patreon people, once I get 100 subscribers to Patreon, I will give them 2 tunes a month. For you YouTube people, if I get 1,000 subscribers, then I'll put out 2 videos a month. So, with that said, enjoy our next tune, Matthew Hardie. Welcome to the January 2019 Celtic Tune of the Month. Happy New Year. This month's tune is called Matthew Hardie. It's a pastoral from Scotland, written by Bill Hardie, and Matthew Hardie was his great-great-great-grandfather. So this is in 4/4 time. Our key signature is G, so we need to lift those G levers on your lever harp. So the A part is basically 4 bars long and repeated, which makes it 8, and it starts like this. So we're going to start with G and D, and then go up to B and D. And now we're doing E, G, D. Okay, so that's our first measure. Let's do it again. G to D, B to D, E, G, D. Moving on, second measure, we go C to A. Then B to G. Now we're going to do a run from A down to D. So that much again. C to A. I'm going to run. Now we're going to go from G to D to B to G. So we're outlining the G major chord here. And then C, E, D. That bit again, outlining that G major chord, G, D, B, G, C, E, D. And then the last measure, we're going E to A, and D to F. With that F, we're going to play a C, and then we're going to go to G and play B with it. So that last measure is E to A, down to D, playing C and F together, and then you're going to move your fingers out 1 string each way, going to G and B. Okay, so that's the entirety of the A part. It gets repeated. So let's start it from the beginning. We go to, and all the way through those 4 bars. So we're going to start with G to G, G to D, up to B, down to D again, and then E, down to D, and now we go C, A, B, G. Now we have a run from A down to D. You can do 4 fingers. I like to do 3 and do a crossover. Now we're doing that G major chord, outline, and then C, E, D, E to A, D, F and C together, G and B together. Alright, let's play it together. I'll count us in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, here's the B section. Now it is 8 bars and it's not repeated, but it does feel like it's 2 separate sections of 4 bars each. So we're going to start that first section of 4 bars with B and D, and then down here with our left hand we're going to play this low G below middle, the G right below middle C. So it's, and now we're going to play C and E together with that G down below, and now we're going to play B and D together up to the high G and then down to B. Okay, so again that is, we're playing B and D together, down to G, then C and E, and then D and B together, up to G and down to B. Now here we're going to outline a G major chord again, but this time instead of that G being on the top like this, we're going to put a D on the bottom, and so we have it in the root position up here on top. And then we have another run. This time you can use 4 fingers in a row. So the run starts on A, goes down to G, ends on D. Okay, so that second measure, again we're going to outline a G major chord with D on the bottom. And then a 4-finger run starting on C. We end on A. Okay. Moving forward in the third measure, so here we're going of the B part. We're going to start like we did before with the D and the B, down to G, C and E, down to G, and again that B and the D up to G. This is a little different here. Now we're going to go to B, G. Okay, so that measure is B, G. Okay, and the fourth measure in the B part, we're going to go D to G, F, and now we're going to go A, F, G. So that's D, G, F, A, F, G. Okay. Before moving on to the second half of the B part, let's review this. Actually, the B part sounds like 2 separate parts. So here's the first 4 measures of the B part again. We're going to go to B and D, C and E, and that G below, and then B and D again, up to G, down to B. Our G major chord outline with a G on the bottom. A run, 4-finger run starting on A, ending on A. I'm sorry, starting on C and ending on A. And now we do this bit again. And now we go to B, G, and then D, G, F sharp. Let's play just those 4 bars together, the first 4 bars of the B part. So here we go. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and a 2, and a 3, 4. is the second half of the B part, the last 4 measures. So we're going to start from B and go up to D, and then we're going to go, okay, so that's B up to D, and then C, B, G. That's half of that measure, and then the second half is we're going to outline, we're going to go E, C, A, and that F sharp. Okay, so it's starting at that measure, B to D, B to down to G, and now starting on E, and then you're going to basically skip a string in between each finger. And now moving forward to the next measure, we're going to go to G up to B, and then A, G, D. So that's G, B, A, G, D. And now we have a run from E down to A. So again, I like to use 3 fingers crossing over. And here we have a fermata, so you're going to hold that. And there is one more note in this measure, but it's really part of the next phrase, so we'll put it with the next phrase where it belongs. So that measure again, starting on G up to B, and then down to D, and then a run from E down to A. Okay, now moving on to the next part of the phrase, we're going to go from C. I like to use that 3rd finger and put my 4th finger on B, because I need all 4 fingers to go B, C, D, G. Okay, so that's C, and then you have 3 fingers in a row, and then you skip all the way up to G. And then we're going to do 3 fingers in a row again, this time starting on C, and skip all the way up to C. Okay, so that measure again, we start on, well, the note right before, which is our little pickup note, therefore, and then 3 in a row, skipping, and then all the way up to G. 3 in a row, starting on C, and then all the way up to C. And then we have B to G, F, A, F, G. So let's play the second half of the B part together. We're going to again start on B up to D. Ready, and 1, E, and 2, and now we start on E and skip and skip and skip. 3 and 4, and moving forward, G to B, 1, E, and 2, and a run from E down to A, 1, E, and okay, and then now we have 3rd finger on C, 4th finger on B, 3 in a row up to 3 in a row again, starting on C, B to G, F sharp A, so let's play the entire B part together, all 8 bars. So here we go. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Moving on, and 1 and 2 and skip and skip. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Fermata pause, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and, sorry, 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4. Here are the chords for Bill Hardie. Since we are in the key of G, we are going to start with the G chord. So here are the chords for the A part. So we're going to go to G, stay on G, and here we're going to go to C, and then back to G. Here we're going to go to A minor, G, and D. Stay on D, and now we're outlining that G major chord, so of course we're going to use G. Now to C, back to G, then A minor, D, and if you want here you can do a D7, throwing in that C, and C note, not chord, and then back to G. So those are the chords, and of course that repeats for the A part. Here we have the chords for the B part, so we're going to start with G again. We're going to go to C, back to G. Now here you could stay on G. I like to go to E minor, gives a little more flavor, and then we're going to outline in G major chord here, so we'll stick with the G chord. A minor to D. Here again we've got G and then C. Now you could go back to G again like we did before, but here I like to add that a B minor, gives it a little different flavor. And then C, it's actually C major 7, and then we're going to go to G, D, and then here again we could go to that D7, G. Moving forward, G major, C, and then D, back to G, C, to D, a little pause there, and then back to G,